Hey there YouTube, this is Tom Crandall from Gear Mashers, and today we're going to be taking a look at Eleiko sliding J-cup. That's what I got behind me here on the Eleiko Prestera fitness half rack, so stay tuned. Alright, so we're back and this is it. This is the Eleiko Prestera sliding J-cup, and so the first thing that you'll notice is it's pretty beefy for Eleiko. Considering looking at some of their older J-cups, this one's definitely a lot bigger. There's a lot more plastic or UHMW on it. It has a rolling pin, so it allows you, so that's the first thing, which is pretty awesome. Some of the newer J-cups are coming out with rollers, which allows you to reposition the barbell a lot easier. So if you're doing a bench press or something like that, you don't have to press up on the weight to reposition it, or if you're doing a squat, you don't have to do that. You can pretty much just slide it along here. Obviously, if you have a lot of weight, you're gonna have to add a little bit of pressure to make it slide a little easier. The other thing is it does have two bolts in the front, so my assumption here is the roller is probably replaceable. It's polyurethane, and then maybe this whole plastic piece might also be replaceable if you were to wear it out. I can't imagine someone that owns a home gym or a garage gym being able to wear this sucker out because it is pretty beefy. The reason for the plastic mostly is to protect the knurl on the bar so it doesn't get all torn up by racking and unracking. Down at the bottom of the J-cup there is a metal piece here. Obviously that's for support. So if you were to come up right next to the bar here, you would smack metal, but otherwise you just hit plastic and you wouldn't ruin the knurl. It would have been nice to have some plastic over this metal as well, but they decided not to. Now I did say that this J-cup is sliding, and so it was designed for the Prestera fitness half rack and other Prestera racks. So let me just take this bar off. So the way it works is there's a pin inside the J-cup that connects to the holes here. These are spaced 25 millimeters apart, and there's a pin in the back. And the pin in the back is sort of cool because it has some nice knurl on there, just like a lot of their other products or pins, band pins and things like that have that as well. And so the way it works, you pull the pin out in the back, and then you sort of pull up and away from the front, and then you can slide it however you need to, and then you just position it back into place. And it's really easy. There's no like really side-to-side movement, so you don't have to worry about it coming out. The way, when you first set up this rack, the way the rack is set up is they suggest, or they actually in the manual, they have you set up the post first and then slide these down from the top. But the issue is, like in my garage, I have a 100-inch ceiling height, and I probably need about 110-inch because of the height of these to be able to slide it. So what I ended up having to do is put these on the post first and then try to attach it at the bottom. That ended up being sort of a pain. To build this rack is a two-person job for sure. The way they have the base of the rack it's pretty difficult to get tools in where you have to tighten bolts down. There's limited space. There's like a gap like that big, and then you get the tool in there and you don't have a lot of room to maneuver. Whereas a lot of racks, the supports are coming from the outside, and so they would sandwich the pole, and then you can screw in from the outside where you have a ton of space to work with. So with that, I hope the engineers look at that and say, hey, maybe we need to tweak some things on the design. So maybe, you know, coming out in the future, they'll have some modifications for the floor footprint. But anyway, the rack's super solid, doesn't really move too much. Obviously, you can add a lot of weight here on these weight pegs that allows it to be even more stable. So, you know, if I put a lot of weight near the bottom, that would probably stable it out. I only have so much weight though right now. Obviously, these bumper plates can be expensive, but it is nice. It's great storage. And this is the kind of rack I would suggest for anybody setting up a home gym. It's a shorter, smaller rack where you're working out on the outside. Getting back to the J-Cup, price-wise, it is at the top of J-Cups. To give you an example, so I just wrote a list of a few competitors that are out there. Obviously, their J-Cups aren't going to work on this rack because it is this 70 mil by 70 mil. Most of the J-Cups that I can find were all based on a 3x3. But Go Strong has one, and they do have a rolling J-Cup, which is sort of cool. And you can choose from either a composite type or a steel. And so you're looking at $340 or $410. Rogue, their top of line J-Cups, the Monster series, that retails for $290. Oak Club Manufacturing makes a really beefy J-Cup that's like this tall. That retails for $459. So that's the closest that you can get to the price of Eleiko's. Eleiko does have a J-Cup that comes in from the side where it goes in the holes here. That retails for $359, but this sliding J-Cup is so much nicer than that if you have the option and you have the ceiling height and everything, I would go for the sliding one. It's just really nice and super beefy. And then Sorinex also has a J-Cup or J-Hook, and that retails for $289. So you're paying a premium price for this J-Cup, but it is super, super nice. I think if I were to make any modifications on it, I would probably make it taller actually, just so it gives you a little bit more room here to hit this plastic part. But other than that, it's super nice. It would be cool if somehow you didn't have to slide it from the top. If you could somehow detach it and just pull it off, that would be like the ultimate. But I understand why they do that, because they do have this pin in the back that has a support. But it still would be cool to be able to take it off without having to slide it from the top. Because essentially what happens here is if I did want to take it off, or if I had an issue with the J-Cup, I'm going to have to take off this cross beam. I'm going to have to take off the back beam in order to slide this all the way off. But since my ceiling height is 100 inches, it's going to be even worse than that, because now I'm going to have to take the support post and take the front footer off and remove it from the middle footer. So that would just be a total pain. I don't anticipate that happening, but that could happen. So anyway, hope you like this video. I'll be talking about the Prestera half rack and some of my thoughts on that as well in coming videos, and maybe talk about the XF series. I will say this, if you're wanting a rack by Eleiko and you're wanting a really good deal, the XF series right now, they have, it is discounted. I think for a similar rack like this, which is about $3,300, you can get the XF series for about $1,600. Pretty big discount. That rack weighs like 370 pounds. This one weighs 290. It's a pretty solid rack, and so it's January 2022 right now. So I don't know how long they're going to last, but if you're thinking about getting a rack, that might be the one to get right now. So anyway, thanks so much and have a wonderful day.